Good evening, Midlands African Chamber. Welcome to another edition of our Power Hour brought to you by our champion supporter, Wells Fargo Bank. Welcome to April, where we're coming up on some high activities in the Midlands community, Midlands African Chamber community, such as Pitch Black is coming. It's coming this coming June. Tickets are now available. You do not want to miss out on Pitch Black. This is an event this is our fourth year running, and this is where we have the opportunity to see entrepreneurs pitch and be judged. And more importantly, it's about connecting and networking with each other. So without any further ado, this month's Power Hour is all about return on investment, impact, and benefits of participating in Pitch Black and the MAC Xcelerator. So without any further ado, I'm going to have our guests come to the stage. I have Cherish Perkins with Cherish Perkins LLC, and then I have Mr. Artez and Mrs. Dorinda Young with GreenLexi, and I do believe we have one more. Yes, I do. I have Mr. Xavier with Local Art Plugs. Welcome to the Power Hour. Thank you all for joining me tonight. So I'm just going to start kicking it off and ask each of you to give a little rundown of exactly what your business is. Xavier, let me start off with you.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you for having me. It's honored to be here. My name is Xavier Jackson. I'm the founder of the Local Art Plug. And what we do at the Local Art Plug is we connect local artists with local businesses, nonprofits in the community. What does that mean? So what we're really trying to do is make art more accessible and make it easier for artists to find opportunities to support their creative career.
Excellent. And Miss Perkins, what is it that your company does?
Hi, I am Cherish Perkins. I'm the founder and CEO of Cherish Perkins LLC, which is a custom apparel business for men, women, and kids. We make clothes such as suits, jackets, dresses, anything you want. Just from a hand-drawn sketch from myself, I create my pieces by hand. Whatever you want, I am here for all your fashion needs. I also do wardrobe styling and alterations.
Excellent. And last but not least, Artez and Dorinda Young, what is it that GreenLexi does?
Well, GreenLexi is a online platform that seeks to solve the problem of visibility for underserved businesses, businesses that are underrepresented in the community. And so, basically, with the platform, we uh, give them a profile that basically allows their story to be told. And on the platform, you find over 460 businesses that are Black and Brown owned.
Okay.
We also have a resource directory in which we educate the local community on how to repair your credit, how to repair your credit, get a better credit score, or if you want to know what's going on in the city, we have a events page that goes out and finds all the events happening in our area.
Oh, okay. So if somebody needed to tap in and see what's going on this week or next week, they could go to GreenLexi and find that out.
Absolutely. So on our Facebook page, we also do shout outs and say, hey, you want to know what's happening in the city this weekend? Go to our events tab, and we have a list of events from April all the way through October so far, if you're interested.
Absolutely. So each of you have been a participant, I should say, of the MAC, whether that's the Xcelerator or Pitch Black. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mhm,
All
mhm.
right. So starting off with GreenLexi, how did you hear about the Xcelerator, and what made you decide that you want to be a part of it?
Well, interesting enough, Shay, I saw some information on social media. I kind of actually was like, I'm too busy to really take a look at that. Then I actually had a brother of mine, send me the information.
Okay.
And yeah, and then after taking time to actually review it and see what was all involved, I said to myself, how could I not pursue this opportunity? Myself and my wife.
So both of you participate together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that was a very good thing, just in terms of just us working closer together. Initially, I was spending most of the time trying to make a go of the business. We both work full time, and so she wanted to have a better understanding of what it was that I was doing. She was always supportive, but it just went to a whole nother level, of which I'm very appreciative of.
All right. All right. Xavier, how about you? Tell us how you heard about the accelerator and what made you decide that you want to be a part of it.
Definitely. I heard about the accelerator, say 2 years ago when I saw some just friends compete in the competition. In the beginning, I didn't think I was ready for it, but once I saw them kind of compete, I was like, oh, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And just as far as like, not like to put them down or anything like that, but it just made it more attainable and more realistic. Like, okay, I've seen somebody that I know achieve these things, then what's stopping me from going and achieving these things as well?
Absolutely. And last but not least, Cherish, how about yourself?
Yes, so my dad came across the flyer on Facebook. I think someone sent it to him and he sent it to me. And originally I was like, I don't know, because public speaking is not my thing. So I was a little nervous about joining it, but I just graduated college. So I felt like it was a great thing to do to get more exposure in the Omaha community and overall learn like the Omaha community business and just mingle with and network with other individuals like myself.
And how was your experience within the accelerator?
My experience was really great. I met a lot of people. I came across a lot of people that I probably would have never talked to if I didn't become a part of the accelerator program. And overall, it just helped me boost my confidence within my business and just overall helped me with my public speaking.
Okay, so now you're pretty much ready to take on the host role of Power Hour.
Oh, definitely not.
Hey,
We're working on it. We're working on it. Artez and Dorinda, how was your experience with the accelerator?
Would echo what Cherish said. You meet a lot of different people with a lot of different skill sets, and you realize that your vision is a lot bigger than yourself. And so you realize you need a team of people, collaborators. And we've met so many different people that have just spoke so many great things into our lives. We've learned to do a lot of technical things that we probably wouldn't do in our day-to-day jobs. We've done shout out Saturdays. We've just done a lot of things, and it's just helped us to grow as people and in our business.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Xavier, how was your experience?
It was a great experience. I definitely learned a lot. I was able to go outside of my network and meet some cool people that are doing amazing things in town as well. Definitely forged some relationships that are ongoing, and looking forward to working with some people in the future. And then it also opened my eyes to the other possibilities and things that you could do with business, from government contracting to just getting a Bell team together and just kind of thinking of things like that. And even I believe they helped us with the business plan as well, or that was a large part of it, submitting the business plan. So, things like that you can often put off to the side, not even think about. But an accelerator like this really makes you sit down and focus, and I think that really helped not only myself but all the participants.
So I think there's a centralized theme that I got from all three of you or four of you, which is it came down to the people, right? It's the accelerator help you build relationships with other people and that connectivity. Did I get that right?
well,
Yes.
absolutely. We're pretty good friends with Xavier. Try to stay in contact, with him. Got to know Shawnee's not on, but we're pretty well connected with her. Seen Cherish out and about.
Doing her stuff.
Doing her thing, and so we see each other, and it's always exciting to see that folks are. Um, I believe, we've more than leveled up, and, we're, able to, stand on a foundation that that the MAC Xcelerator and the pitch opportunity gave us.
And on that note, I guess the what is the number one thing you learned from going through this accelerator? And I'll start with yeah.
I would say for us, you probably heard us say it over and over again. It's that, you know, there's William King of Boss Radio has a saying. He says, if you have, you know, a dream, you know, a business that you're doing, and it's not big enough to involve other people, it's not big enough.
Mm.
And so you know, we definitely understand that, you know, having strategic relationships, relationships where you're either mentoring people or they're mentoring you, all those things work together to make you better.
Yeah.
Because even if you're mentoring people or you're encouraging folks, they can encourage you at times as well. So yeah, those are some of the things that in my view has been one of the greatest things.
Cherish, how about you? What was the number one thing you learned from participating in the accelerator?
I think the number one thing I learned is how to sell yourself, because there was a lot of times where we would be put on the spot at events where we would have to give our elevator pitch. And I've always knew what an elevator pitch was, but I never took the time to actually work on my elevator pitch and have to memorize it. So it was something that we would have to do at literally all the events we would go to. Sometimes in class, we would have to do our elevator pitch. So we would do like a long one, we would do a shortened one, and they would critique it and just perfect it. So just us being able to go to these events and being able to sell ourselves just within like 2 or 3 minutes, it was very great learning how to do that. And just overall getting out of my comfort zone, being able to just go up to people, hand them my business card, talk to them about my business, build my clientele, overall build relationships through the community would be the biggest thing.
Wow. So I just got chills coming down my spine about the level of confidence that you were able to obtain by being a part of this accelerator.
Yes, I've always been a very confident individual. I say I'm an extroverted introverted because I can talk to people who I know, but people I don't know, that's where it's kind of like, I don't know.
And Xavier, how about yourself? What is the number one thing you learned from being a part of this accelerator?
Definitely. I knew this a little bit before coming into it, but going through the accelerator helped me out a lot, and now I feel very comfortable about it. It's the numbers, learning the numbers, the financials, being able to talk about that. Yeah, I never considered myself a math wizard, but I was always good at adding, subtracting, and dividing and multiplying, and that's all it is. So I was like, oh, okay, I could definitely get this. So now I even look forward to kind of looking at the financials and saying, okay, where are we at this month? What can we do to be better next month? And then seeing what other numbers there are, like how much does it take to acquire a customer and things like that. And it's like, oh, this is interesting, because I think it just makes your business more understandable once you're able to kind of wrap your head around those numbers, because then you can see, okay, this is the direction that we need to go in. And that's not something that I was focusing on before the accelerator. And then especially with that business plan too, you have to get everything in order from that to even be able to pitch. So it helped a lot.
So do you find that looking at the numbers and understanding those numbers help you make better decisions for your business?
Definitely. Yeah, being able to look at the numbers, you can put things into a different perspective and think of it from a different way. It might sound like a good idea, but if it's not going to pay for itself or just cost you money out of pocket, it might not be the best investment unless you're looking at it from a marketing stand. There's a lot of things you can look at it numbers for to kind of it's not always about making money, but you do want to make money at the end, and being able to kind of differentiate what those numbers are and kind of where your money's going is very important.
Absolutely. So upon finishing the accelerator, each of you were able to then participate in Pitch Black. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm gonna start with you, Cherish. Tell us about your experience with Pitch Black.
My experience with Pitch Black was actually pretty good. I enjoyed being able to pitch. That's not something I've thought in a million years I would do. I was actually really nervous because I was the youngest in the competition. I was 22 at the time, so I was like, I don't know. I feel like I was the underdog just because of my age, but they were all super supportive. And just being able to ask a lot of questions, practice, and prepare, like the class really prepares you for the competition. So by the time you finish the class, all the work that you've done, you implement that into your pitch deck, which we had to present. And just overall, just practicing. I practiced a lot. I practiced in the mirror. I recorded myself several times. And I ended up getting second place, which was really nice for me. And so I think it was really cool and just a great moment to witness and just be a part of.
Fantastic. Xavier, how about yourself? Tell us about your experience with Pitch Black.
Definitely. This was my, I believe, seventh pitch competition, so I had a little bit of experience coming into it, but each time it's always nerve-wracking. That doesn't make it any easier. And I used to work in the news station, and the reporters would say the same thing. Every time you get on camera or go to do public speaking, you're going to feel those butterflies a little bit. But if you kind of get accustomed to it, and like Cherish was saying, you start to enjoy it, and you start to look forward to those butterflies. Kind of things that I did to kind of help with those nerves was I snuck off and I did some push-ups to kind of slow my heart down because it was racing so much. But that helped me a lot, and then just kind of going in positive, and then just practicing and practicing and practicing. One thing that I like to say a lot is I call it the 5 Ps. I got it from Kendrick Lamar. It was a song actually, but he said proper preparation prevents poor performance. So I'm like, okay, let me just practice, practice, practice until I can't mess it up.
Absolutely. And GreenLexi, how about yourselves? What were your experience like with Pitch Black? And did you pitch together or did one person pitch?
We pitched together, so you'll probably want to hear from both of us. But one thing that we did, like Xavier said, is we practiced to the point where you almost were ill. you know, which which is a good thing. You get to a point where you're like, I can't do this one more time. You have that feeling, but you're saying that you want to give yourself the best opportunity to win. And part of the process was, there was some family process in it too. My son helped us, put together our slides, and so just that whole experience was great because I did get to do it with my wife, and we could feed off of each other, and we had parts that we shared. So I'll let her pick up on that part.
So I work in my training area for my job, and I do speak in front of people. So that's really not a problem for me. I just wanted to be able to portray my passion of what we do to people so that they would understand it. And you had to be very relevant and just kind of calm and just tell your story. Just tell what this means to you. What does GreenLexi means to you? And I think we did a really good job about that. We just kind of fed off each other, and we had our parts, and it just flowed very well together. So it was a great experience.
And with that, what advice would you give for anyone who is interested in participating in Pitch Black, but is a little bit skeptical and scared of how they should prepare?
Do it afraid. Sometimes the things that you really want the most require that you just deal with that internal fear. And the thing is that you cannot really actually succeed until you fail. So even if it might seem like it's a failure, it's a success. So for us, for example, we ended up coming in. Well, there was quite a few of us in the competition, but the day of presentation, we came in, I think, tied for fourth or fifth, something like that. But at the end of the day, the money was not the deal. It was the process and all the things learned. I didn't have to get a dime, and we felt like we won.
Yeah.
So,
Cherish, how about yourself? What advice would you give to somebody that was
I would say to get out of your head. I was really in my head the whole time, like the whole week leading up to it. I was a nervous wreck. Like the day before, we had a dress rehearsal, and I completely did terrible. But as soon as I got out of my head and just like, you know, your business more than yourself. Can't nobody tell you anything about your business but yourself. And as soon as I like stepped into that and just took a deep breath and just focused on the overall goal and not worry about how short of the amount of time I had, I would say for people who are joining the competition, and I would say just to focus on telling your story, sharing your business. Don't focus so much on the time. Like you only have 5 minutes, but the more you get your story across and people can feel your passion for your business, I think that's the overall goal you should have.
Hmm. Hmm. Xavier, how about yourself? What advice would you give?
Definitely. I'm going to piggyback off of Artez and Dorinda a little bit with the failure portion because I did mention that I did 7 pitch competitions, or this is my 7th one, and I lost all 6 of those leading up to this one. But through those 6, and that's kind of what made me apprehensive to apply for this one. I'm like, I don't know if I can take another one right now. But you know, just seeing friends and people that I know go through it and you know, be able to succeed and okay, you know, it's a process. It's definitely a process, and you learn a lot from it. But I think you should take that leap and just continue to bet on yourself and look at it as a learning experience, even if you do fail, and try to get the most that you can out of the competition. One reason I kept applying to them was not only because, you know, of course, I wanted some funding, but also because it's like great feedback from people who knew about business and could give you actual insights into your business. And then preparing for the pitch competition, you have to actually take a serious look at your business too and say, okay, does this actually make sense? Would this actually work as a business? Because I have to go and present this in front of people. And, you know, they're going to kind of poke holes in it and tear it apart. But I think that makes you better in the long run because you see, okay, maybe these are some things I overlooked, or these are things that I didn't think about. And that happened to me in the first couple of pitch competitions that helped get us to that point. So I'd say to go for it. If you're ready, if you're not ready, the worst they can say is no. But you're going to learn so much from that. It's going to be worth it, worth your time.
So with this experience, I mean, we're talking about stepping out of your comfort zone, right? We're talking about, you know, the fear of not being ready. But I guess the question is, were any of you actually ready when you actually started your business?
No,
No.
not at all.
Wow.
I think that was in unison right there. So with that, it was the pitch black competition any different than stepping out and starting the business?
I think the pitch just gave you a real world view of what to expect. You need to have your banking, your attorney, your insurance, your lawyers. You need to have all of those pieces because it's not just your vision, but you need all those other pieces in play. You need your social media. You need all of these other pieces. And I learned so much just with Google and now analytics and thinking, wow, let me take a minute here and step back and kind of dig into that because you need all of those things. So the pitch is perfect to just kind of, you're not going to stay in that position or stay in that because the topics kind of switch from week to week, but you're at least had an awareness of what to expect and that these are pieces you need to add to your business.
How about you, Cherish?
I would say it gives you an extra boost because each week, like they said, there's something new. So it's something that you have to focus on each week. And it makes you step out of like your service or whatever you're providing and actually focus on the behind the scenes of the business. Because, like, I do customer apparel, so I sew all day. So half the time, I'm not thinking about all the paperwork and stuff that I need to do. But being a part of Pitch Black makes you focus on the business side, the numbers, all that stuff that you need to keep track of to be successful in your business. And it makes you learn how to balance both of them.
And Xavier?
Could you ask the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot my question. Hold on.
No.
I think it was a matter of, you know, we're stepping out of our comfort zone. How is this different? And from the starting the business to Pitch Black.
Definitely. I wouldn't say it's very different from starting a business because you already have the business going. it might be a little bit hard to figure out how to balance the business end, kind of like Cherish was saying, doing the back end portion of it, because you still have to keep the business. You can't put everything on pause while you're going to figure out, okay, I need to find a lawyer and all this stuff. But I think that even like Artez and Dorinda were saying, gives you a good real world view of what people expect and what makes a legitimate company and a legitimate business. And then jumping into the business world, it's like I knew nothing, so things like this really, that wasn't my major, so this really helps kind of like give you all that education without going to school.
And so it's been what, about 9 months since Pitch Black occurred, give or take? And what impact has Pitch Black had on each of your businesses? We'll start with you, Xavier.
Definitely. It's had a large impact. It helped legitimize our business, definitely legit before, but it was a little bit harder to get meetings with people and for people to take us serious. And then since then, we've been able to get a lot more partnerships, connections, and opportunities that we're able to deliver on and show people, okay, well, they can do this. So that's been really exciting for us to kind of get that growth. And it's just, yeah, definitely legitimize this and help grow the awareness of the business as well, and just open a lot of doors in that way.
And Artez and Dorinda, how about yourselves?
Yeah, I would agree that there's a certain amount of where you're legitimized um, within the community. People know your name, they see you. Dorinda was out recently, stopped at I think Home Depot doing something, and she was wearing one of our T-shirts. They were like, "You're GreenLexi, you're in town." It's like, "Well, yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
That's us. We're around." And so even most recently, you talked we before we came on, we talked about like side hustles and such. And I don't think that it's a shameful thing to go, side hustle. It means that you're putting work in. And so there was a few weeks back, there was a side hustle Saturday at North High School. They were giving away a couple of grants. You had to essentially apply for the grant, tell your story, and then have a table, and you had to have a good presentation. So we did that, and we were fortunate to win a $1,000 grant.
Hey!
So yeah. So, and that honestly does come out of the out of the accelerator and the pitch, because you're able to verbalize to people if they walk up and ask you, well, who are you?
Yeah, what are
Well,
you doing here?
what are you doing here? So like Cherish said, well, you got like a couple moments because that whole room is full of people.
Yeah.
You got to be able to tell them who you are, and what problem you're solving, and why they should be, what's in it for them. And so, definitely, that has paid a lot of dividends that way.
And Cherish, how about yourself?
Just being a part of the Pitch Black expanded my business a lot and gave me a lot of exposure. My clientele doubled since I was in the competition, and I've had so many opportunities. And like they said, just like walking around, going places. I was at an event a few weeks ago, and a lady came up to me and she was telling me how her and her husband remembered me from the competition and stuff. And she actually took a photo with me, which made me feel like a celebrity. And so I thought that was really cool. And then also, I got a big opportunity. Taylor Johnson, she's a local news reporter, and she actually did a story on all of us in the competition. And so she reached out to me, and I made her an outfit for the Beyonce concert that she went to. And now we work together all the time on stuff. And I've just been able to build a lot of relationships throughout the community just from being in the competition.
So if I understand this correct, the by participating in Pitch Black gave a sense of legitimacy, whether you were a full-time in this or the business is for lack of better terms, a side hustle aspiring to be the main hustle.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And a part of that came into, I think, Cherish, you hit on it, that even before you pitch, there was marketing that was being done on your behalf by simply being the finalist in the competition.
Yes. So just by, because the first round, it's everyone who was in the program. And so by making it to the second round, being in the top five gives you a lot of exposure. We had radio interviews, we had like two different news interviews. And so that gave additional exposure that you needed, just not being in the competition, but just overall.
So part of Pitch Black wasn't just a matter of winning the prize money, which was no strings attached, cash infusion as well as in kind, services, but also the marketing aspect of what your business is and putting you out there for legitimization.
Yes, the money is great, but I would say the marketing is the biggest part of it. That's the best part. At least that's what I think.
Now, did any of you have any, because of that marketing, did any of you see an increase in customers or foot traffic as a result of even before the pitch, before you gave the final pitch?
I would
We've
say
seen
yes.
definitely. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you can go.
So we've definitely seen a lot more. I think more brand recognition. People are aware what you do. I was talking to one of my coworkers at work, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm telling everybody. I didn't know you were doing that business. I'm telling everyone that I know." And they're just kind of surprised that it's us, but it's the name recognition is really, really good.
Cherish, you're going to say something?
Yes, I agree. The name recognition is really good just by having all the marketing and just now people see your business and like you say, it legitimizes your business and people want to work with you and people spread the word or they share stuff on social media.
And Xavier, did you have any increase in your customer base as a result of the marketing that occurred in Pitch Black?
Yep, definitely. Increasing customer base and opportunities that allowed us to kind of spread into different markets. So now we're doing consulting and things like that. People recognize our expertise for building community and some of the events that we've done. And that was, again, through the Midland African Chamber just promoting us so much. People started looking into all of our businesses. It definitely helped sales. It helped so we also have some rental venues. It helped book up the venues a little bit more, and yeah, just definitely spread our name.
Fantastic. Well, I guess the next question, and I think we hit on this quite a bit already, is how important was it for the network, right? Or a better question is it important to network? I'll start with you, Xavier. Artez, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'll just be chomping at the bit because I believe that like networking is like it's the life's blood for a business. And so in my professional life, I've done networking, but it is definitely different when it's your business and you are um, wanting to let folks know what it is that you do and what you're passionate about. And so with the networking, you don't know if you're like one meeting away from something that's just going to change the whole trajectory of what you're doing. Sometimes you will meet people that will say, "Hey, I think you need to know this person," and um, and the goal in networking isn't necessarily always just to get business. It's just to be able to to have that more of that connectedness and sometimes just a support system where folks are just they will just let you know, hey, I know that you're out there. I know that you're putting work in and you're important.
And Xavier, how about yourself?
Definitely. I think it's super important to network. In college, I used to collect business cards, but I'd never call people back. And then for some reason after college, I think I got yeah, I just had a stack of business cards. I was like, man, I'm gonna get so many of them, have so many contacts. I never talked to anybody, college. But after graduating and getting out there and doing it for your own business, I was introverted and still a little bit shy sometimes, but doing the business and Pitch Black definitely helps you get out of your shell. But going to like art events and finding those people, like Artez was saying, you never know who knows who. There's a saying that you're 7 degrees away from whatever person you want to meet. In Omaha, it's probably like 3 degrees or something.
A lot less.
Probably, yeah. And then I have a book that I've had since college. It's called Your Network is Your Net Worth. So I kind of always had that in the back of my mind, like, okay, well, I might not have the capital right now, but I might be able to meet someone who, if not, could be a potential investor or work with the business, could help be a mentor, give advice, or just point you in the right direction.
And Cherish, how about yourself?
I would say network is super important. It's the cherry on top of your business. I feel like you cannot succeed in your business without networking. Word of mouth plays a huge role in business. You never know, like your neighbor can tell their friend can tell their cousin, and just that's already 3 clients that you already have just by opening your mouth and talking to someone and sharing your business. So I definitely think that's something that people should really place high importance on.
And to piggyback on that, can I ask you how much did it cost you for that word of mouth?
Nothing.
Yes.
Did you say it was free?
It's free.
I was just making sure I heard you correctly. That word of mouth is free. So I think the underlying current is that networking is more than just solidifying a new customer. It's about relationships, and I think what MAC is all about is that we build and connect with each other by building relationships, because it's with our relationships that we patronize each other and we support each other. And that's one of the fundamental foundations of the Midlands African Chamber, is connecting our businesses and then champion each other. We can't do that if we don't network. Can't do that if we don't connect. We can't do that if we don't build relationships. And I guess overall, each of you have found that the networking is important in each of your business. So I guess the next question I have for you is, how have you leveraged your MAC membership and participation to expand your network? Okay, I'll pick. Cherish, you start first.
Okay. I've used my membership definitely to expand my business. I'm still very involved with MAC right now, and recently I've been asked to be a mentor in their accelerator program. So I actually mentor people through that, and I've just connected with a lot of different individuals who are also around my age. So it just helps us get that community and just overall just see what everybody else is doing, and just overall building those relationships and also encouraging someone and giving back. So I think MAC has really helped me be able to give back to my community and also meet with other entrepreneurs like myself.
Fantastic. And Xavier, how have you leveraged your membership and participation?
Definitely. I've leveraged it by using the resources that they provided through the competition. Just like I don't like to toot my own horn. I won, but they gave me like legal services and things like that. So I've been using those, and those have helped a lot. Just advance the business forward. And then the membership, I'm looking forward to use it for ribbon cutting services and other things like that. And I need to post more on their event calendar, but they do have an event calendar page for people to be able to find events. So there's a lot of cool services that I haven't taken advantage of all of them yet, but the ones I have taken advantage of have definitely helped.
And Artez and Dorinda, how about yourselves?
I would say that we haven't been able to be as plugged in with Mac because we've pretty much had our head down, but but we do. Obviously, we talked about the networking, so when you're out and you can express to folks your connection to Mac, and they've heard the name because you'll ask them, they go, "Oh, yes, we've heard of them." It does open doors. So, some of the other types of relationships that we're building, in the community is like with UNO. So we've sat down with like the director of the community engagement, and so, when they're obviously familiar with MAC, and so again, when we talked about earlier about the legitimization of of who you are and what you're doing, folks hear that and it does get you meetings.
So there is the benefit of being a MAC member as well as a participant in Pitch Black.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I said, MAC is known.
Yes.
Now, I know Xavier answered this question earlier, but I'm going to ask the other two. How many other pitch competitions have you participated in? Oh, actually, it says since Pitch Black. And how many business grants, if any, have you applied for? So I'll just start with Xavier because you're the more experienced pitch participant out of everybody right now. So have you participated in any since?
I have not, actually. I took a pause from doing the pitch competitions to actually apply for business grants. So
Okay.
I've been spending the last couple of months writing grants, and then I've been also finding like RFQs and RFPs, which are requests for qualifications and requests for proposals. So different larger opportunities. So that's kind of where my focus has been. I have seen pitch competitions pop up, but I feel so blessed after that last one. I'm like, I might just retire from them for now. I've taken enough losses, but no, I want to definitely try some more. So probably later this year or next year when I free up some time, I'll definitely get back to the pitches.
Okay. And Cherish, how about yourself? Have you pitched since Pitch Black?
No, I haven't pitched since Pitch Black, but I definitely want to rematch with Xavier.
Hey, it's been dropped, Xavier. It's been dropped. It's been called out.
Maybe one day I'll do another pitch competition. This one was really great. So I've just been relaxing since then and just really focusing on my business. I have applied for a few grants. So that's nice that through Pitch Black, we've able to have like our paperwork and everything already together. So that helped us with that. So it makes the process easier.
So even if you go into another pitch competition, you are generally more prepared.
Yes, you already have your business planned. You already understand the finances. You know how to put a pitch deck together, a presentation. You could probably use the one you already did for the last competition.
Is that what Xavier did?
Probably.
Might take a little bit here.
Every time's a charm.
Yeah.
And Artez and Dorinda, how about yourselves? Have you pitched since Pitch Black?
Yes. We've been in I'd say at least two competitions. One was just recent. I think that was the most exciting. Again, you're just kind of yourself and telling your story, and I guess the people just coming up, wow, this is what GreenLexi does. And we had our website up and they can look at it and like, oh, I had no idea that was there. So that again, we say the money is nice, but to just let people know what's out there, what's available to them, that's so beneficial. Just to know this is a resource for them.
Absolutely. And I think it's for those who, because it's interesting, and I didn't ask this, but how old is each of your businesses?
Mine's 7 years.
We've been around for about
4.
And GreenLexi's how old?
4.
4. And
Yes.
and Cherish Perkins LLC, how old is Cherish Perkins?
A year and 8 months.
Woo! So we got a span, right? And then I believe Cherish, you're working full time in your business. Is that correct?
Yes and no. So I do have another job, but that's early in the morning. So I pretty much work on my business all day after that.
So your business is your main hustle, and the other job is the side hustle.
Yes, we're gonna say that.
Okay.
Okay.
And Xavier are you full time?
I'm not full time at the moment. I have a full time job actually, and then I do this outside of that.
Okay, so this is the side hustle to the full time.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and then Artez and Dorinda, is this 4 years and going? Is this your main hustle or is this a side hustle?
It's the side.
It's the side hustle, working like you said towards the full hustle.
Okay, so with that being said, and sorry, that's what happens. You don't plug in the laptop. With that being said, you range from one being whether full time or this making this a side hustle, but you have the opportunity to then grow and scale it with the resources with what you have in the accelerator. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And with that, is there aspiration to make this the main hustle, where you don't have to have the part-time side hustle like Cherish, or you're transitioning?
Well, for me, it'll happen sooner than later. It'll happen
Okay,
sooner than later. So,
it's
yeah, it
coming.
can definitely be a full-time hustle.
Okay, and Xavier?
Definitely. I'm hoping if everything goes right by the end of this year, I can be full time in the business, or next year, sometime next spring. But even then, I might still just keep my day job for another year or two. Yeah, I do want to make it full time. Yeah.
And I ask that because, you know, each business is different in age, right? We're from 1.5 to upwards of 7, and GreenLexi's right in the middle. It's the middle child, like myself. So we're not gonna.
I'm the middle child.
but the reality is you were still able to do the pitch competition regardless, and also the accelerator. And so how did you maintain that balance with working the business, whether it was full-time or part-time, with participating in Pitch Black or the accelerator?
I feel like you definitely make time for what you want. So this is definitely capable of being able to have a full-time job, work on your business, and do the competition. The work isn't so hectic. And recently I know that they have cut down the program half from what we had. So we had way more work, but you were able to still be able to complete it. So if you didn't procrastinate and you did your work every single week, or at least every other week, you were able to stay on track and be able to finish all your work.
Oh, I see some head nods. It's like, amen, preach it, sister.
Yeah.
Artez and Dorinda, how about yourselves?
So here's the deal. It's like Cher said, you will do what your passion is, what you want. And so I believe there were almost 30, different businesses that started out when we started out. And we even had folks that were in it that told some folks that they were going to win it. I think Xavier knows what I'm talking about, but they didn't make the trip. All right, so you you just understand that, like, yeah, it's going to take some work, and Xavier and Cherish knows that if you're working another job outside of the business that you're doing, it takes some effort, but you have to pace yourself. There's times you have to say, you know what, you have to spend time with family. You have to, take some time for yourself, because at some point it becomes a point of diminishing returns. So you just kind of pace yourself. You might have to kind of go hard, one day to just make sure that you get that done, and then maybe you can rest a couple days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Xavier, how about yourself?
Definitely. It's definitely possible. To do it, you definitely have to stay focused and, like, kind of like Cherish was saying, and even Artez and Dorinda, keep your priorities straight, and you're going to do what you want to do most often. I never really like going out to the club, so I'm mostly in the house on the weekends, working on my business. That's fun to me. I always tell my friends, like, I'm not going to go out this weekend, but if y'all want to come grind, we can go grind on some stuff. We can, watch some music in the background or something, it'll be fun. That's fun to me, but no one wants to do it with me. So, I'm always out here just my thing is trying to find time to rest, because sometimes I do push it over too much. So what I've been doing lately is telling myself maybe 1 hour or 2 hours a day. And then also on top of that, instead of trying to finish 10 things in a day, um, 3 things really well. And even if I get one thing done really well, I should pat myself on the back for that. And, don't be so hard on yourself or beat yourself up, because when you do set those lofty goals, you always feel um like diminishing returns, or like, oh, I didn't get all 10 of these things done that I planned. But life rarely goes as you plan. So I think if you do want to make this happen and make it work, you can definitely make it work. Not to say that I don't go out sometimes and have fun, but I do, you have to do everything in moderation and then pick your priorities, because you're like, okay, I want to be a business owner. Your clients aren't going to care that you have a hangover and you weren't able to get your stuff done. They're just going with their stuff, so you got to think about things like that.
Absolutely. We're about to be running out of time soon, but I'm gonna ask this question: what has Pitch Black helped you accomplish?
I can start. I'll say that Pitch Black definitely helped me get out of my comfort zone and really be able to explain my business and promote it. And also, it really helped build my clientele and gave me the exposure that I needed.
Fantastic.
I'll say
for us, I think our business is something that it's we're about legacy and putting something in the community that will bring dividends not just for us but other people, because people come from all walks of life to the website, and that's what we want. So we want something that's going to kind of take on a life of its own, and just like a main street where people can come and hang out, kind of like with Xavier, just kind of hang out and chill. And okay, hey, go here, go there. Oh, there's a new restaurant, or hey, there's something happening here, or just something that we post. We have a blog on there. We just want people to hang out and just kind of live life on our website.
Xavier.
It has helped us explode. A lot of the things we were doing before, it's very incremental. I was doing it, over the past 7 years or whatever. I think I incorporated 4 years ago. But then it was a lot of door knocking and trying to prove to people that we could do these things, and that, you can call me back. I'm a real person. But since then, it has taken like a hockey stick curve. I don't have to, try to convince people as much as what we're doing, and it's allowed us to grow, not only doing grassroots things, but now we're able to work with like larger, well-established nonprofits and businesses and stuff that we were kind of, knocking on their door before, but now we have our foot in the door. So it's just been exciting to see the opportunities and exciting to see what's next.
Fantastic. You all have been great tonight in explaining in what the return on investment, the impact and benefits have been to your businesses and to you individually by being participants in the Xcelerator and Pitch Black. If there is one final thought each of you could give to anybody who is thinking, contemplating, or even somebody who is in the middle of applying to Pitch Black, what would it be? And we'll start with you, Xavier, since you did win.
I definitely
this
say
time you won this time.
This time. Yeah. My Cherish might give me next time, or even Artez and Dorinda. We don't know, but that's why I retired, right? So, no. But I would definitely say that they should apply, whether they think they're ready or they're not ready, because the pitch competition will definitely let you know, and it'll definitely help you get things on track as well. Maybe things you haven't thought about, and then getting that feedback from the judges. I don't want to point out too many people from the pitch competition, but some people may not have had their business plan together or even like a slide or pitch deck together. Maybe they didn't know that they needed those types of things, coming into the pitch competition. Because not everyone who was in the pitch competition this year went through the Xcelerator. So being in the Xcelerator definitely helps prepare you for that if you've never done a pitch competition before. But yes, I think they should apply.
Cherish, how about yourself?
I would say submit the application. Quit thinking about it. Just go for it. Get out of your head. There's nothing bad that can go wrong with this. Even if you fail in the end, you still get so many more accomplishments throughout the process, and you have so many benefits that come with it. That's worth the win or the loss.
And GreenLexi, last but not least.
I would say something I don't know that we necessarily touched on tonight, but you're never too old. We're not old people, but we're definitely not Xavier. We're not Xavier and Cherish. We don't have their youth. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I see you backtracking because she looked at you, and I was like, I think she's talking about yourself, not the we.
So, but you're never too old to embark on your dreams and your passions. And when you know that there are people, typically folks that when they start businesses, they didn't just wake up one day and decide to do it. It's been over time that they've seen that there's a need, there's a problem, there's an issue, and it's speaking to them, and they say to themselves, "I believe that I can help bring that solution to market." And if that's you, don't think that it's too late.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make the jump.
All right. So I am just going to shamelessly plug.
Oh my God.
Shamelessly plug. If you've been with us tonight, this is Cherish Perkins LLC. This is a site you need to go to, and it's cherishperkins.com. You can scroll, you can check out her website. This is somebody you want to have a custom-made outfit. I mean, we're talking, especially when these fundraising seasons come up, or I got a wedding coming in June. On the side, I am ordained, so sometimes I have to get my fancy and get somebody married. And guess who I will be going to? I will be going to Cherish Perkins. You better believe it. Next, we had do believe we had GreenLexi up. GreenLexi. See, this is, and I can only imagine GreenLexi came from the idea of the Green Book. Am I right?
Very nice. Very nice.
Did I just win?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 yes.
Ding, ding. There you go. Yes.
But this is all about, again, connecting, right? We are about connecting businesses together. And I think the key word you put on there, Dorinda, was legacy, right? It's about the legacy. It's about the legacy of supporting each other. But the best way we can do that is jump online, check out the ins and outs of what's going on in our community by jumping on GreenLexi. And then last but not least, the Pitch Black winner. The local art plug, right? And this is localartplug.com. Please check them out as well. This is an opportunity for our community to support not only the people who join the Midlands African Chamber, but people who participate in the Xcelerator, participate in the Pitch Black. Midlands African Chamber was started to connect, to empower, and to champion. And I believe through tonight's Power Hour, you heard through each of you exactly what Midlands African Chamber was started to do. So I invite our audience to come participate and patronize your businesses. This has been a wonderful edition of our Power Hour. I look forward to seeing each of you at the Pitch Black competition, because obviously, you're going to see a new winner come up, but that doesn't mean we can't celebrate the wins and accomplishments of those who are coming after us. So without any further ado, I'd like to thank each of you for coming on tonight and enduring me and these questions. I know this is not easy, especially if public speaking is not your forte. But I really do. I think the biggest thing that the takeaways started with Artez when you said it's never too old. You're never too old. But in the same vein with Cherish, you're never too young. And sometimes, as Cherish said, you got to get out of your head. You got to get out of your head. And then the last but not least is, it took you 7 times, but you still tried. You still went after it. So with that, you were all champions. And I thank you for being here. And this has been a wonderful episode. So I'm your host, Shay Olulafe. This has been a Power Hour. If you're not part of the Midlands African Chamber, you need to come join our tribe. Until next time, take care.